So I know it's been a long time since I've done a video, but I decided I'm finally gonna get back out after taking a long break of doing videos and just make this video real quick. So today's video I'm going to be doing the top best to top worst races in my opinion, and I think this would be a really interesting video to see if you guys actually can relate to this topic. So let's just get straight into the video. So also, quick reminder, you guys should definitely get this horse. I really do recommend it to you. It just reminds me like a noble steed in a way, and I named it Titan because it just kind of reminds me of something bold, big, strong horse. Anyways, I'm just gonna start. So one of the top races that I really do enjoy is doing the beginners race in Moreland. I'm not really sure what it was called. I guess it's just the Moreland race overall, but this race is one of my favorites because it's the most easiest and simplest race to do, and it doesn't have too many curves and it doesn't have anything that you can jump over necessarily. It's probably one of the best races I recommend, but this is number 1 in the spot. Oh, it's also called Bobcat's Basic Track, if you were wondering what that name was called. There it is. Number 2 spotting in the best races that I absolutely love is the one that's pronounced Baranos Racetrack, or however you're supposed to say it. I really love this race because I always love doing the shortcut, and it's so easy as well, and yeah, that's the shortcut.
I love how much XP you get in this race, and it's such an easy, simple race because it's just
around the racetrack. This race is called Back on Track, I think, but everyone will call it the Baranos Racetrack, or however you're supposed to say it. So don't actually mind me, but I actually love these riding arena races. They're actually called the Baranos Racetrack too, but everyone I think would call them just around the riding arena area. But I really do like these racetracks because they're really challenging, and they're a bunch of jumping courses. I usually don't like a lot of jumping, but the first one is one of my favorites, and the last one's really challenging, so I do like a bit of a challenge. I really do like jumping races if it's all about the jumping. I'll show you all 3 different types of races on here. So that's basically all of the racetracks. I do love them all. I used to hate these races actually, but I got used to it and it was more of a challenge to me. The challenge just gets easier and easier for me. So I really do like the Theveldel lake race. It's a really open race and you can see what you're doing most of the time if there's not a lot of trees in your way. But it's really a nice view, and you can see the lake, and then you could see other parts of the racetrack as well, so it's a very open race. I also really like it because it's calming, and I also love the shortcuts in there as well. I think the XP does pretty good as well for your horse. Also, the Theveldel lake race is just overall not really complicated at all. It's pretty simple, and there's not a whole bunch of jumps. It is a really long track, however, but sometimes long tracks can be really simple and nice depending on how you like it. This is probably one of the top races that I like. So tell me if you really like this race as well in the comments below. And I'm pretty sure this one's called Run Like the Wind, but it's also known as the Theveldel Lake race. The next race that I really like is not really counted as a race, but you still get XP for it, so I still think so. It's called Save the Butterflies at Hillcrest Village. I love this one because first of all, it doesn't have a timer, and second of all, it takes literally no time at all to collect all these butterflies and get a good amount of XP just for that. And it's very calming, and I love the build. There's no racetrack included. It's just run around and collect butterflies the whole time. Now we're on the top one worst races I dislike very much. Wilderness race. I really don't like this one, and I'll show you why I don't like it. When I first started doing this race, it was a little bit easy at first, but as you go along the way, there's a whole bunch of jumps. It's very, very confusing, especially for new people who haven't done this race yet. You don't know exactly where to jump. There's a lot of turns in this one, and it's very, very complicated to do. There's very tight spots everywhere. It's very, very confusing. And they get tinier. Like, the spots get tinier. I see, like this. This race is also, you get stuck a lot. Sorry, my recorder stopped. Okay. As I was saying, and the turns are really confusing. Like, I've done this race multiple times and I still get stuck everywhere. So that's why I really dislike this race. I would not recommend doing it on a daily. Moving on. So the next race I don't like is this one, and this is one of the newer races that have been released a few months ago. It's pretty complicated at first. I'm not, like, I don't mind it too much, but it's one of the races I don't like the most out of the whole map, so it can get very confusing. I'm still not really good at this race. I always have they have like huge, humongous turns in this race. It is like very confusing, and the track is kind of unclear sometimes, but that's why we have arrows, thank goodness. I just don't like that race overall. Not really much to say about it, besides it's a little confusing. So, next race. The only thing I have to say about this race is out of time. This race is a pain in the butt for so many reasons. Also, the name of this race is the Hillcrest race or something like that, but it's known for that. I really don't like this race because the time is horrible. If you get hit on something or caught, usually the time runs out in about a matter of seconds. Literally. I don't like that at all. Wish they had gave more time. But they make this race a little bit more of a challenge. So if you mess up, you're probably most likely down and have to restart this race. The first time I did this race was about 10 times until I got it. And I managed so far to do this race for the XP that it's given, because it gives you 250 XP, which is really good. So I do like that. This race is also really complicated because it has a lot of obstacles in the way, so it's most likely for you to get hit on and fall behind and then start the race over again. I would say that it's pretty easy going, like you could just go straight through. It's not a lot of turns. Sometimes there are really big turns if there are turns, and it's pretty clear that you can see your way through. All the obstacles that they give you in the middle of the section of the race is kind of hard to get through at times. So I managed to try my best to practice this race as many times as I can so I can get through it today in this video. And also the time, I'm just gonna warn you, if you're ever gonna be excited for a new race here, don't be, because I don't know about you, but this race can be really limited on time. That's basically my main reason. But the other reasons, they're minor. there's a lot more to it if you think about it. Moving on. This is number 4 in line. It's called the Paddock Wilderness race. Okay, basically, I don't like this race for many reasons. This is one of them. I don't like this obstacle. I tried to do it fast this time, but when you're like with these logs, you have to go like slower pace. I don't like this race for also many reasons. First of all, it's kind of hard to tell where the flags are because all of these flowers. It's very turny, and there's things in the way when you're trying to get to the other flags. And also, the paths are very slim, and acceleration's pretty bad. And there's just so much in the way that you can barely get around. I've tried to manage my part in trying to do this race. It's very confusing. It's hard and complicated. It is a challenge of a race. It doesn't last for too long, thank goodness, but there's so much in this race that just gets you confused. So I've managed to do it till this day, which I'm really thankful. So if you want to try out that race, go ahead. That's number 4 in the line. Moving on. So coming in top 5 is
Greendale race.
It's a newer race too. First of all, a lot of obstacles. I understand it could be challenging, but there's just so many obstacles in this race. When I first did this race, there were a lot of ups and downs, just like this, which I've never done before. And there's a lot of times I basically failed multiple attempts at this race because of those ups and downs. So the problem is the turns would be very accelerated. So when you like go to a new like flag, the turn would be like so far off gone you can't see it, but it's all the way to the right. Also another thing about this race I don't like is also about the ups and downs. There's been multiple times where I fell off the log and had to get up. So this part right here always got me. You have to make sure you get on these rocks, and and like I was saying, oh wow, I actually got put back on there. I'd always fall off those a lot, and shortcuts are hard for me to do in this race. I still haven't figured out a lot about this race. I'm probably still not used to it as much, but I'm trying my best here to get my head around this race. So that's the Greendale race. Also, my horse is leveled up. Congratulations. But that's basically it. So those are my top best races to my top worst. I have more races I dislike, more races that I do like, but those are probably not my best races. But if you want me to do a part 2 to this, I definitely can. Just probably won't be the worst and the best. It'll probably be like what I like to what I dislike. Top 5s. But if you want to see more races like this, then please comment down below. And also tell me what you thought of these races as well. Also tell me like if you agree with some of the races that I like or dislike. And I'll see you in another video. Hopefully it'll be an advocate video too, because I'm actually thinking about doing another one of those after this video. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!